All right, if you've been following along, what I have been doing is offering you some suggestions that can lead you to a life of happy, joyous, and free. Freedom from active addiction and a relatively calm heart. Um, Freedom from depression, anxiety, fear, resentment, all of that stuff. What I've asked you to do and what I have done myself is to take a pen and some paper and start to write down um, basically my story. What happened to me, right? And do I carry any resentments? What are my fears? Who am I pissed off at? What happened to me? Um, and then the next step that we're going to take from there is to find somebody that we can tell our story to. We're going to go over that list with somebody. We're going to find a trusted friend, preferably somebody who understands what we're trying to do, somebody who understands that we are trying to live in a life of recovery free from depression, anxiety, fear, and active addiction. And if possible, somebody who's been through that process already, somebody who's in active recovery, somebody who has taken the steps to change their life, and and we're going to find that person. We're going to tell them our story, and as we go through our story, we are going to be completely honest about everything that happened. Tell the truth, and it'll be pretty easy to see how we carry around resentment and anger and fear and things like that over what has happened to us. But what we want to do is we want to discover how these things have affected our lives. The things that have happened to us, and what have I done with that? An example might be something like this. When I was when I was a kid, um, my dad had split. My mom and my dad broke up, got divorced, and my mom was a single working mom, and so she had to find babysitters. When I was about 7 years old, one of those babysitters took advantage of me in a way that no 7-year-old should be taken advantage of sexually. And I didn't tell anybody about that. And I'm not going to go into all the details about that, but I'm free from that experience in the sense that I can talk about it, and I've been able to share that experience and help others, right? But when I had written that down and I was sharing my story with somebody, what I found out was what I did with that experience was I closed myself off to any kind of a meaningful relationship after that. I kept everybody at an arm's distance, and I got really afraid that I would be taken advantage of again. And that carried into my life, and it has affected every relationship that I've ever had, up to and including the relationships I have today. I mean, it's carried into everything. And that's fascinating to me, what the mind will do to protect itself from having those types of experiences again. So when I am sharing my story with someone, that's the kind of details I want to get into. What I'm going to discover, see, I didn't know that about myself until I shared it with another person. All I knew was that experience happened to me, and I was pissed off about it, and I kept it to myself, and I was ashamed of it, and I was, I didn't want to talk about it. I never told anybody. And so when I told somebody my story, and I shared that with them, what I discovered was that how much that affected me in my life, right? And so that's just one example. You know, I'm going to go through my life, and nothing but thoroughness and honesty counts. And you know, if it is, because it's going to be difficult, but if it's too much, do it in pieces, man. You know, do a little bit at a time. And what you'll find is that you will begin to be free of that stuff. When I'm honest about my story, and the shame and the fear and the anxiety and the depression and the anger and the stuff that I carry around as a result of some of the things that have happened to me, I can start to be free of that, you know. Otherwise, what happens is situations will trigger me to relive those experiences, and I don't even know that I'm being triggered and that I'm reliving those experiences. And my brain doesn't like to have that sort of trauma relived, and so it drives my drug use, you know. And drug use doesn't just become, it's not just some fun thing I'm doing on a weekend anymore, you know. It's like my medicine. It's like the thing I gotta have so that I don't feel that trauma. And so I only discover that by doing the work. And if I do the work and I keep plugging away at it, I can be free of all of that stuff. And I'm here to tell you, man, that that recovery is possible. You know, I've been sober since August the 16th of 2005. That's a long time. That is a little over 19 years that I have been happy, joyous, and free, and I haven't had to pick up a drink or a drug to hide the pain, the suffering of the trauma, and the triggers that have, you know, that have come across and thrown me into these crazy, fits, right? So I don't have to do that no more, right? And so, you know, if you're in recovery and you're doing the work, man, right on. It's recovery month, but every day is a recovery day. But I know how hard it is, and so if you're recovering and you are doing the work, man, you're badass. You're freaking badass, dude, because it's hard to do the work. But the freedom on the other side of the work is so, so beautiful. So keep doing it, and we can be happy, joyous, and free. Thanks.